What is German Expressionism? German Expressionism was an art movement that began around 1910. It influenced everything in architecture, theater, and art. It typically presented the world from a subjective view and attempted to show a distorted view of this world to evoke mood or idea, and also the emotional meaning of the object and what mattered to artists and not the physical reality. Expressionist films would use techniques such as atmospheric lighting, asymmetrical camera angles, and highlights of many objects and characters with the use of high contrast between dark and light. The different plots used in German Expressionisms were usually occupied with madness, identity of oneself, and insanity. The film The Cabinet of Dr. Kalahari follows the dark and twisting story of the mysterious Dr. Kalahari, who uses hypnosis to commit murder in the villages he visits. In this film, you can see how the film noir and horror genre both demonstrate the contrast of the human's inner mind that often stands either between a bright or dark side, just like you can see in the American Horror Story Asylum, where the characters are influenced by this technique. You can see how the characters are losing their sanity, are going through their bright and dark side. Also, you can see the lightning technique and how it can be compared or influenced by the cabinet of Dr. Kalahari. American Horror Story Asylum takes the lighting technique and uses it throughout their scenes. In the cabinet of Dr. Kalahari, the director uses light to draw a highlight in the scenes, as in American Horror Story. The chiaroscuro technique used in both films are similar, and you can see how American Horror Story was influenced by the lighting. They both use low lighting with the use of sharp tone. Lighting technique creating exaggerating contrast between light and shadow. Another influence seen between these two films is the narrative element used in both films, which are somewhat the same and bounce back from each other. In The Cabinet of Dr. Kalahari, the director tells a story about Dr. Kalahari through a flashback point of view, and at that the story is twisted at the end by revealing the story is being narrated through the point of view of an insane patient. This same narrative element is used in American Horror Story Asylum. In the series, you can see this exact element being played out on the screen. The characters use a lot of flashbacks, and it has the same concept of the characters being insane and telling their story.
I trust you, gentlemen. I've reviewed the material in preparation for today.
She was my mother.
These different techniques can be seen in the American Horror Story Season 2 TV series. In this opening video of American Horror Story Asylum, the director uses the manipulation of light to evoke an emotion of fear, which is common in the German Expressionist films. The director uses the art of chiaroscuro. Chiaroscuro is defined as the contrast of light and dark that gives the illusion that something is evil. This technique also is common and used in German Expressionist films. American Horror Story Asylum also portrays insanity, madness, betrayal as in many German Expressionist films. At some point in the season of Asylum, all of the main characters question their sanity. Lena Winters and Kit Walker's, the main characters, are pushed on the edge while in the asylum, but later they regain their sanity. The asylum is filled of madness and betrayal, which is very common in German films.
My little green men. Now, that won't do here.
They weren't human. They were monsters.
All monsters are human. You're a monster.
Also, German Expressionist films focus heavily on visual effects. An element of visual effects includes makeup. One character from American Horror Story with the most amazing effects is Pepper, who is played by Naomi Grossman. Her character is a perfect example of visual effects and how it has been improved since the German Expression era. In these scenes, you can see her makeup closely.
She's crowning. He took one look at the shape of my head, and I was locked up for good. That's how it works with us freaks. We get blamed for everything.
Oh, Pepper. Now tell me, why is it we don't allow food in the rooms?
Rats!
That's right, Pepper. Why can't you get that through your pointy little head?
You don't fool me for 1 second.
Take her for quiet soak in the hydrotherapy room.